An emergency United Nations Security Council meeting has just concluded, and what we witnessed today is nothing short of historic. The United States of America standing completely alone on the world stage, facing condemnation from allies and adversaries alike after the military operation in Venezuela. This is unprecedented. I have covered international affairs for years, and I cannot recall a moment quite like this one. I want you to stay with me for the next few minutes, because what I'm about to share with you will fundamentally change how you understand what's happening right now in global politics. This affects every single American. Here's what we know at this critical hour. Just days ago, on January 3rd, United States military forces launched what officials are calling a large-scale operation against Venezuela. American troops captured Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and his wife, physically removing them from their country. They are now reportedly being held in New York. The Trump administration has announced it intends to run Venezuela directly and has not ruled out additional military action. This morning, that Emergency Security Council meeting was called to address these actions. And inside that chamber, something remarkable happened. Nation after nation rose to condemn the United States. Not just our rivals, our allies too. Let me take you through exactly what was said inside that chamber, because these words matter. United States Ambassador Michael Waltz stood before the council and delivered a message that sent shockwaves through diplomatic circles. He declared openly that the Western Hemisphere belongs to America. His exact words stated, "This is where we live, and we will not allow this hemisphere to be used as a base for our adversaries." But here's what really caught everyone's attention. Ambassador Waltz said the United States cannot allow the largest energy reserves in the world to remain under the control of adversaries. He was talking about Venezuelan oil. He said it plainly. No diplomatic language, no carefully crafted statements, just a direct admission about resources. And then came the most controversial claim of all. Ambassador Waltz insisted there is no war against Venezuela. He called this entire operation a law enforcement action. Just arresting a drug trafficker, he said. Similar to what happened with Manuel Noriega back in 1989. The response from the international community was swift and severe. What you're about to hear should give every American pause. The nations of the world spoke with one voice today, and that voice was raised against us. Now, before I continue, if you're finding this coverage valuable, I need you to do something for me. Hit that subscribe button right now and tap the like button. We're working hard to bring you this breaking coverage, and your support helps us continue delivering the news you need to hear. Let me tell you what happened next. China's deputy ambassador took the floor and did not hold back. He stated that China is deeply shocked and strongly condemns these unilateral illegal bullying acts by the United States. He pointed directly at America's status as a permanent Security Council member, saying Washington has wantonly trampled upon Venezuela's sovereignty. The Chinese diplomat demanded the immediate release of President Maduro and his wife. He warned that military action never solves problems and only creates greater crisis. Then he said something that should concern every American watching. He called on the United States to stop toppling governments and return to dialogue. Russia saw an opportunity and seized it. Their ambassador condemned what he called unprecedented cynicism from Washington. He noted that the United States did not even attempt to hide its true goals of taking control of Venezuelan resources and asserting dominance over Latin America. Think about the irony here for just a moment. Russia, currently conducting its own military operation in Ukraine, now stands in the United Nations lecturing America about respecting international law. The Russian ambassador actually mocked the rules-based world order that America has promoted for decades. But what comes next is even more significant. The dominoes are falling, and the implications extend far beyond Venezuela. Stay with me. The United Nations Secretary General issued a statement through Undersecretary Rosemary expressing deep concern that rules of international law have not been respected. The statement emphasized that the UN Charter prohibits the threat or use of force against the territorial integrity of any state. The Secretary General called on all parties to find a peaceful way forward. Here's where things get really interesting. Denmark spoke up. Why does that matter? Because President Trump has been threatening to take Greenland, which belongs to the Kingdom of Denmark. The Danish ambassador delivered a pointed message. He stated that the inviolability of borders is not up for negotiation. These principles are universal and apply everywhere. Did you catch that? Everywhere. That was not a subtle message. Denmark is sending a clear warning to Washington about any future territorial ambitions. Then we received statements from multiple world leaders. The governments of Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Spain, Mexico, and Uruguay issued a joint statement condemning American actions and warning against any attempt to violate Venezuelan sovereignty. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer was asked directly if he would condemn a potential American move on Greenland. His response was clear. He said he stands with Denmark. The future of Greenland belongs to Greenland and Denmark alone. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez released a statement declaring that respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity is non-negotiable. From Ukraine to Gaza to Venezuela, Spain remains committed to the United Nations. Japanese Prime Minister Takaishi warned that challenges to the international order are gaining momentum. She pointed to military buildups by China and North Korea and strengthening cooperation between those nations and Russia. Now here's what's happening domestically while all of this unfolds on the world stage. And this part of the story is equally remarkable. President Trump has been posting on social media throughout this crisis, but not about Venezuela, not about the Security Council meeting. He's been posting about the 2020 election. Claims about voter fraud, allegations about Dominion voting machines, posts about windmills killing bald eagles using photographs from years ago taken in other countries. Meanwhile, administration allies are appearing on television defending the operation. Republican Congressman Scott Fitzgerald compared this to Teddy Roosevelt's policies. Congressman Tom Emmer called President Trump the president of peace and claimed he is stabilizing the region. Senator Rick Scott said Trump is committed to freedom and democracy in Venezuela. But here's what those statements leave out. President Trump has rejected the Venezuelan opposition leaders who actually won the 2024 election. Maria Corina Machado and Edmundo Gonzalez, the Democratic opposition, have been pushed aside. Instead, reports indicate Trump is working with figures connected to the Maduro regime who can deliver access to Venezuelan oil. So where does this leave us right now? The situation is fluid and deeply concerning. The United States has conducted a military operation that the international community is calling an invasion. World leaders from every continent are condemning American actions. Our closest allies are distancing themselves. Russia and China are using this moment to challenge American moral authority on the global stage. The UN Charter, which America helped create after World War II to prevent exactly this kind of unilateral military action, has been set aside. The principles of sovereignty and territorial integrity that America has defended for decades are now being cited against us. This is a pivotal moment in American history. The international order that has existed since 1945 is being tested in ways we have not seen in our lifetimes. Alliances that took decades to build are showing signs of strain. What happens next will shape global politics for years, perhaps decades to come. We will continue monitoring this situation throughout the day and night. Our team is working around the clock on this story. More developments are expected as world leaders respond and the administration clarifies its next steps. Will there be more military action? How will Venezuela's neighbors respond? What does this mean for Greenland and other territories Trump has discussed? Could this trigger a broader regional conflict? These questions demand answers. The stakes could not be higher, and we will be here to bring them to you the moment we learn more. That's our breaking coverage for this hour. This story is still developing rapidly. I'm asking you one more time to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single update. Share this broadcast with everyone who needs to understand what just happened today. The world changed, and you deserve to know exactly how and why it matters to you. Stay tuned. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back with more updates as this story continues to develop.